That would probably be better if we had some sound, though.
Oh yeah,
Let's
probably.
do that again, as if you didn't know what we were doing and couldn't hear us. Welcome to the EMS raid call EMS 1. It is CSGO. And yeah, no sound has now been fixed because Red Eye here is a noob. I'm going to explain to you a few things as well as to why things are a little bit different than we were hoping for today. Obviously, myself, Paul Red Eye Channel. Alongside me is Hubner, also known as Slave 2. It's an affectionate name, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll explain that as we go through. He's replaced Joe Miller because, well, frankly, Joe sucks. That's not it at all. Actually, I want to send my condolences to Joe and his family, who suffered a family loss over the weekend, which is why Joe has gone back to England for a funeral. So it's very sad circumstances for Joe. I know he would have wanted to be here, so it's pretty sad for him. And obviously our wishes and thoughts are with his family. This evening, it is the raid call EMS1. We're very, very thrilled to have some Counter-Strike Go. Get some major money, Hubner.
Oh yes, definitely.
Major monies.
We're talking about 156,000 over the entire season.
Yep.
Not the entire season, the entire year.
Yep. The entire year, $156,000.
Yes, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. 4 seasons, because that's how many there are in a year. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are we going to do spring, summer, autumn, winter, roughly?
I think so.
Okay.
We might skip the winter.
Because it's cold. Who wants to play CS when it's cold? Our first game this evening is actually going to be a bit of a cracker, frankly. It's going to be two old foes going head to head, and it's going to be interesting to see how these two match up against each other. It's going to be Infused against the guys that have been put together. It used to be ex-Mouse Sports, the Overrated gamers. So I'm interested to see how these two match up. Two British clans. And two high-profile teams from Counter-Strike Source in the past. Obviously, won a lot of money between them, and Critical's always good value for money whenever we watch Critical. And obviously Sam with the guys, the former Mouse Sports team, former Birmingham Salvo team, former Dignitas team.
Yeah, I mean, Mouse Sports has been very, very, very successful in the past. We've seen them win so many tournaments on a European and on a global level. So that's definitely going to be interesting, especially the match after that. I mean, you never talk about the match after that, but we have Nip in the bracket.
Yeah, we do. So tell you what we'll do is actually let's just see if so what I should explain to you is this. When Joe would be here, Joe has run this studio on his own, solo casted, dual casted, and done all of the audio, the visuals, the mixing, the production, and the overlays. And he's some sort of, I don't know, technical gift to shoutcasting or something. Me, I've always been, as my technical directors that I've worked with in the past will always testify, that if I go anywhere near equipment, it breaks. And yet somehow the guys at ESL TV, with Joe not being around, have entrusted me with, I think they call this an audio mixer. There's also some sort of production box next to me, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 overlays on the screen right now. So if I screw up this evening, I'd just like you to call me a noob in the Twitch chat, because that's fair game. But also just bear with me, okay? So it's going to be a bit of a rough ride with the production, I think. But I'll try my best. So what I'm going to try and do now is try and get you the bracket the way it looks right now. Let me see if I can just get that for you. There, look at that. Red eyes on the case. So what you can see in the round of 32, we've got round of 16 tonight, and we've got the what's called Viertel. I'm picking up German left, right, and centre. I believe that means the round of 8 or quarterfinals.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, there you go. See. That is good. So round of 32 we're in right now for the first round. You see a few teams have got a bye because, well, they're lucky and they're good. Ninjas in Pyjamas are one of those. They're seeded 1 at the top of the bracket, and they will meet the winners of Infused versus Overrated individuals. So that's going to be an interesting game, and that will be the game we'll bring you right after that. Just going through the bracket itself. Eyes on You, particularly standing out. Had a great season last season, of course. Red Zone will take on ESC. That should also be a decent game. Right at the bottom of the bracket, Absolute Legends will take on the Germans from Dot Pixels. So I'm expecting that one to also be a decent game. What would you say in terms of the way this is stacked up? Imaginary are in there, by the way, on the French team, ranked number 2. From the way the bracket looks, did you think Absolute Legends versus NIP might be an all-Swedish final?
Well, I mean, let me take a look at the lower bracket here. We have good teams in there, definitely, but I think Absolute Legends might actually be the favorites. Yes.
Really? You heard it here first from Hubner. What do you know? Right. So I'm just going to check and see if we've actually got I don't know if we are already just yet. It does seem as if we've just got... I know they were doing map vetoes as well, so hopefully the map vetoes won't take all that long, and we'll be able to get underway fairly shortly. So it just gives us a chance to explain a little bit about EMS1 and what it's all about. Raycall EMS1, of course. Raycall's sponsoring this season and all of the seasons this year. We're very grateful to them for joining us and sponsoring such a great tournament. You can download the Raycall free of charge, by the way. It's a decent communication device which actually uses virtually no CPU, very low memory footprint as well. And it's actually something that we've personally used in the office around ESL, and also they're streaming the game tonight as well. So nice way of doing it. You can have, I don't know, I think it's like 10,000 people in a group, and the great thing is you don't even need a server.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool. I like that.
They said something about 10,000. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, if you look at Skype groups...
Hold on, Hübner. Did you not do your homework?
What? No.
No,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
like
bad.
I said, Joe Miller, come back. All is forgiven.
I have his hair. I mean, come on.
So that was the hair that he got shaved off that you picked
Yes.
up off the floor and put back on your head?
I picked it up and
That's
dyed
interesting.
it.
Okay,
Yes.
moving swiftly on, before we get into some really bad things. There's points awarded throughout the season. So what happens is each season is its own unique cup, and obviously we'll be bringing you each week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, every single week. Won't always be me, won't always be Joe, but hopefully the two of us will pair up at some point when the stars align and there's a full moon or something. But actually, what the points are each week is given out as well as some prizes. $600 for first place, $200 for second, and $100 for third. The points are what's really important, though, because each week the teams will get points. They will go towards a ranking, and at the end of the season, in terms of the 4 weeks and the 4 cups, we'll find out who the top 12, in fact, top 16, I think, in CSGO, go through to the LAN finals. Ooh. Scary, interesting.
Yes.
It's actually 4 groups of 4. So I think what we get is we get four cups. Then we get top 16s. They will go into 4 groups, and the top 2 from those groups, that kind of becomes the knockout, then come through to the LAN finals itself. So 8 of those will go on. They'll all be best of 3s. Tonight's a best of 1s, except for the grand final, which will be tomorrow. We'll have the semi-finals and the grand final tomorrow, which will be best of 3. Hope that's all clear. Any questions, Hübner?
Should be clear, right? It was pretty simple.
Such a No wonder Carmack called you Slave 2. You must have to work harder to become Slave 1.
I know. I'm trying.
Unbelievable. So there it is. That's the Raycall EMS1. We're very, very excited about it at ESL, and I'm personally very excited, obviously, because Counter-Strike is back in a big way and has lots of cool prize money and some great games ahead of us, and obviously cups weekly, as well as LAN finals, and 4 of them this year. That's why it's so cool. We're not just doing 1 and then seeing whether we get another one. We're actually doing 4 in a whole year, which is awesome. Apologies for the fact that the game hasn't started just yet. We're still waiting on last few bits of information. And still don't have the map, which is interesting.
Well, the teams are vetoing the maps right now, so...
They are indeed vetoing maps right now. I should also say as well, if you haven't already played in the ESL A series and you have a Counter-Strike Go team, please do, because you could end up playing in one of these weekly cups. You can qualify for these cups via the A series, and in fact the A series teams then have a legitimate shot at playing in the EMS1 knockouts and then potentially on the LAN finals as well. It's how you can build your way through to the Premier League and take on the likes of Ninjas in Pyjamas and Absolute Legends.
Actually, I don't have the link open right now, but we have the second division of the A series, in which we have teams like Fnatic and Very Games. There's the new Mouse Sports team. There's lots of big teams in the A series trying to get up here.
None of them have enough points right now.
Yeah.
So it's not that we won't see them ever. It's just they won't dig enough points for this week, but they'll probably be in next week. I'm pretty sure that they'll carry on playing and working their way up to get through. So let me just see if we join a server and see. Okay, so yeah, it does look as if we are ready to go live. That's so awesome. What a good time to join. So what we're going to do is, with the power of Magic Television, because Red Eye sucks with production, is look at that. We're actually going to drop you into the game, which is good news. I'm not entirely sure they're fully ready, so we'll have to wait and see just yet. But actually, we've only got 4v4 right now, so that's not going to work, is it? Not going to work. So anyway, blimey, that's a tad loud. Let's just drop that down a little bit and make that a bit easier for you on the ears for now.
Yes.
That's a bit easier. If it's a bit low or anything, just let us know in the chat, and we'll alter all the volumes and what have you. But as I said to you a bit earlier, unfortunately, having to put up with my production this evening, which compared to the legendary Joe Miller, newly crowned Shoutcaster of the Year, by the way, last year.
Oh, was he?
He was. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's also Production Assistant of the Year, Sound Technician of the Year, Audio Controller of the Year, Lighting Technician of the Year.
But he doesn't have the Hero of the Year anymore.
No.
That's probably Killers now.
Probably. I think Kalaris has enough hair for all of us though, so that's okay. So Infused versus Overrated, just 4v4 on the two scenes right now. Release Rattlesnake, MX, PRB and Weber as they would call him out here in Germany.
Yeah, it would actually be Weber.
It would be Weber. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
It's like Jason said to me the other day, what's that supermarket called Rui? And I said, you mean Raver? See? It's all in the pronunciation. It's coming. For those of you who don't know, I moved out to Germany about a month ago, and my German is nicht gut.
Well, it's hard to learn.
Yeah, not really.
No.
If Joe can learn it.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I don't want to smack on him too much tonight. He'll probably end up watching the VOD. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So still waiting for the two teams to be fully ready. They are now with full lineups, so let's just take you through those lineups right now. We've got Critical, Pulse, Pal, Zeox, and the one and only Pez, who is unbelievable that Pez is even playing this game, it really is. But I saw him at the top of the leaderboards a couple of months ago, just destroying everyone on Publix. And the other teams, the Overrated Individuals, which is a slightly ironic team name, by the way, is Release, PRB, Rattlesnake. I don't want to call him Weber, but it's kind of the Germans coming through. It's Weber and MX. Who stands out for you?
Well, I mean, Rattlesnake and Critical are definitely big names here in each of the teams that probably everyone has heard of already. Like even people who are from a different scene or from one of the separate CS scenes. I mean, basically we were split into two scenes, 1.6 and CSS. So these should be names that everyone knows.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to say that even if you were a 1.6 legend, that you'll probably be more than familiar with most of these names anyway, and if you were a Source junkie, pardon the pun, then you'll definitely be familiar with these guys. They are two of probably the most successful UK teams over the last, thinking about it, it's probably over the last 8 years. It's incredible when I think about that. Rattlesnake playing back in 2005, 2006, certainly with Dignitas early on, and then of course in the CGS, where Birmingham Salvo were victorious in the World Championship in the second season. That was $500,000. They were better off for that, and then lately, of course, of Mouse Sport. So hopefully we can. Yeah, get this live in just a moment. I'll tell you what we'll do, just before they decide to... not live, just testing, says Chris. So we'll just wait, and we'll be patient.
I'm good at being patient.
Okay. Why don't you check the stream chat, and just see if anyone's got any predictions for this game. Who have you got your eyes on? Is it Infused, or is it the potentially more logical choice? I'm sure Critical will hate me for saying it, the Overrated Individuals. It doesn't matter what I say, Critical's going to give me grief afterwards anyway.
I mean, everyone is. Everyone is. Especially Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to be beaten by Joe when he gets back. I'm going to be in so much trouble for screwing up his studio.
He packs quite a punch. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Well,
he beats me up on a regular basis.
Okay, so hopefully we're going to go live for Knives any moment now. So what's the stream chat saying, Hubner? Have a quick look in there and see...
I actually don't have it open right now.
See, Joe Miller would never have done that. He'd have been ready. He'd have had that stream open.
I know.
So, any predictions that you've got in the Twitch chat, let us know. If you want to contact us on Twitter as well, at Raidcore EMS1, or you can do the personal thing. You can just chuck it over to me on at Paul Challoner. And we are ready to go. So, knife round is underway for this first ever EMS1 game. Coming to you courtesy of Raidcore. We are in week 1, Spring Cup. And we are in our first knife round, and it's some Brits just going for the hack and slash, the slice and dice, as it were. And the first one comes in from Powell. I'm going to try and get excited about a knife round. How about that? Here we go with Pulse. Pulse is going in for the kill. Knife comes in. Oh, knives exchanged. This is amazing. Oh, look at this. Fantastic. Oh, Pulse finally goes down. It's critical now for a knife kill. No, he's not going to get it. Zeox is going to pick up the final one, and that's a knife round win for Zeox. And Infused. I don't know what it is about knife. I just can't get excited about them. Not even fakely excited.
There's nothing interesting about them.
Not really.
They're not even important. Well, they are
well,
important,
they are
but
important.
they're not that important.
They're really important when it's nuke.
I mean, yeah.
Because you want to be CT.
Well,
you don't want to start on the other side.
Actually, that's an important point to make. Is that on this map currently, even if it's a CT map, you might want to be terrorist because the Glock is so strong right now.
So here we go then, first round, and we're already into the game. Rattlesnake just deploying smoke outside, and it's going to pop up, and here comes the release. It's Zeox and Critical that open things up though nicely. Critical might get a second here, just outside Hunt. It's PRB that finally locks him down, and just waiting to see whether they decide to go into this upper bomb site. They do. Power's going to wait for them just inside that Hunt. Power picks up a double headshot, and Infused are in charge here in the pistols, with one man remaining now, which is Rattlesnake, who is playing a cagey game, and that burst shot picks up the first kill. Is he going to be able to get a second on Pez? A couple of warning shots fired. He knows there are men all around him here, and it's a 3v1. Flash goes off just behind him. One slightly blind. Ooh, down to 12 health. Not going to work out. Zeox picks up the final frag, and Infused have picked up round 1.
Well, I mean, it's a very hard map for T, even with the strong Glock right now. After the latest patch, there's really a couple of good strategies in the pistol round that, for example, ESC have shown, which are really well thought through. So it's really tough to do well in the first round on this map, ST.
So round 2 underway, and we're just looking through the radio room to try and force that one through. Rattlesnake's already going to get dropped by the P90 of Pulse, who didn't take any damage there at all. He's picked up 2 in a row. This might be 3, indeed it is. And Pez now is going to pick up one through Hut on release. And the last man alive will be MX now. And he's picked himself a gun, so well, he's going to do well to survive in here, because he's going to get attacked from main as well as from above. Ladder, and that's a straightforward round 2 on a buy round, of course, for Infused, but not for the T-sided overrated individuals. So good strong start. Always nice to start well on CT, especially with Nuke, because you know that you've got the advantage anyway, money-wise, and you know you've got the advantage in terms of the map. So yeah, good start from Infused.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's to be expected. Well, in most cases, you do expect that the next 2 rounds after the pistol round was won goes to the same team.
Pal and Critical have already picked themselves up the opening 2 kill. Zeox here waiting in Hut. They've disposed of Pal, and they've got another one on Critical, so a little bit more expensive as a round. PRB's got himself another one. Zeox now is in a 2 versus 1 here against PRB, who's had a decent round so far, but will now pick himself up that P90. Doesn't have a great deal of health, just 46. No cover here either, in the form of vest or helmet. So he'll do well to hang on to this, and I don't know, I don't think he'll fancy his chances 2v1, but he's going to creep round outside and just see what's going on for the CTs. Currently Zeox, you just see him, he's below right now in that lower bomb site. Pez guarding upper, so nice split between the 2 Infused players, and straightforward tactics from them, taking nothing risky about it, and PRB just edging his way into that upper bomb site now. Creeping slowly towards that bomb site, has bomb in hand, and will go for the bomb plant here. And will he? No, it was fake first. 11 seconds remaining. Now goes for the bomb plant. Pez is going to come round behind him here and open up fire. Can he win the fight? No, he can't. It will be shut down by Pez, and an easy defuse, but good round really for Overrated, and good round from PRB.
That was definitely a very, very good eco round. I mean, he killed so many people, plus he got the bomb down, which gives your team so much money.
Let's just check the scoreboard right now. So we're at 3-0 in terms of the score, but as you can see, plenty of cash in the bank now for those good terrorists, and PRB picking up those 3 kills for 3 deaths. No kills on the board so far for Weber, and at the bottom of the scoreboard for Infused is critical 2-1. Early days yet. Pulse though with 5 kills so far, as we see a 3-2 split off the start this time from Overrated. It's more of a standard actually. There's 3 just inside, 1 above and 1 outside, causing a little bit of mischief, but that's about it. Release has already been dropped down to 67, so that's a little bit awkward.
The plan is to just pick off a couple of kills here before they make a move.
Yeah, they want to try and pick up 1 or 2 kills and decide which way to go. Pez has actually laid down a nice little grenade through that hut. Rattlesnake is the man that's been dealt with already by Powell, but Critical comes face to face with MX and picks up the headshot with that M4. Pulse has disposed of PRB here. They're 5 versus 2, and Infused really have got Overrated individuals' numbers, and I saw Critical say earlier, couldn't have had a worse draw. They've got Overrated round 1, and if they win that, they have to play net. And it doesn't seem to matter to them right now, because they are dominating right now as Pulse picks up another one, and he's having an absolute storming start to the game. And there it is, Powell nails Weber, and 5 out of 5 without losing a single man, and in fact only about 30 health points of damage done. Brilliant.
I don't know what to say.
Hoopner's speechless.
This is pretty strong.
Yes.
I mean,
I think this is strong with a K.
It definitely is. You had Overrated individuals as the favorites right here.
Well,
I know they're up for,
and I don't think anyone
would
would have disagreed with me, to be fair. I don't think anyone would have disagreed with me at all. So, 4-0. And Rattlesnake here with the set into that upper bomb site with Flash following it up. They are now going to push out. PRB down below does go into that bomb site. Release has already picked himself up. Well, they're just trading kills backwards and forwards here, though. Weber's now turned the advantage in the favour of Overrated. They've now got themselves a 3 versus 2. Pulse is up here high in heaven. One man nails PRB easily with that AK and will now flash down to get the second. And couldn't quite get there before Rattlesnake disposed of the HE up top. They've got 1 top ladder here. Rattlesnake's just below him trying to cover. And they're at 2 versus 2. Critical round, pardon the pun. Bomb planted lower now. Powell and Pulse are going to come face to face. And oh, Powell! Brilliant shot. On Weber, easy as you like. And now they have a 2 versus 1. And it's Rattlesnake who has got to go clutch here and pick up this last kill. The last 2 kills and won't do so. Pulse is absolutely on fire. Disposes of Rattlesnake for the final kill of the round. Infused lead 5-0 right now, and Pulse is 9 for 1.
There was actually nothing wrong with Overrated individuals' strategy here. They executed it well. It just kind of failed with Pulse being so strong.
Yeah, Pulse is having an absolute flyer at the start of this game. 5-0. Still no panic times required by the Overrated individuals, who are going for what looks like a 2-man outside nosy. That's what I'm going to call that. It's not really a push as such, it's just a nosy outside to see what's going on, and what's going on is Critical is waiting for them with that M4. Deadly on MX. 1-man advantage is already gained. Release now just taking pot shots through Squeaky, which is no longer Squeaky, by the way. It's been oiled.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start calling it WD-40, but that was too long.
I still call it Squeaky.
Yeah. It's been Squeaky for like 13 years. I don't think we're changing the name now. Rattlesnake making his way outside is picked off easily by Powell up high with AWP, and they're just walking into the shots right now. It's all too easy for Infused. They're picking off 1 by 1. And there's no team play right now from Overrated individuals, which is quite a shock, actually, considering just how long they've been playing as a team. And Webber does get himself 2 good shots, both fantastic headshots from Webber. Maybe that's the start of something good. 2 men in a row, switches it back down to a 3 versus 2 from a 5 versus 2.
Infused are getting in position lower.
And Critical's going to pick up the first. He didn't want to go for the second, actually, and instead Zeox is just going to blaze through that hut. And surely this is going to be game over, but Release nails Zeox point blank with that AK. Stunning shot from him. He's only got 10 health there. Picks up another one with a headshot. It's now a 1 versus 1. And Pez here, Release rather, with running out of time, unfortunately, at the end of the round, but nearly clutched that round. Couple of fantastic headshots with 10 HP.
That was very, very well done by him. Had he only done it 10 seconds faster.
Yeah, I mean, you know, clock watches, lads. Buy some. That might also be said for me as well. Got kind of caught up in the moment. And time had already run down, unfortunately. As we this time see things from Pez's view, who is covering up top with Zeox. However, just in radio, already getting pinged through the smoke. Has found his team 6-0 down here, and wouldn't have forecast this. Critical would have, though. As Release perfectly placed flash, picked up the frag on Critical this time. Pulse is starting to come under a little bit of a challenge. They've not wanted to go to this area of the map because he's been on fire, but PRB finally gets rid of him, and the headshot comes from him. Powell replies back on MX, so just trading shots backwards and forwards. 4 versus 3 advantage for Overrated right now, and make that a 4. Excuse me, 2 from Release in a row. Give them a massive advantage here. It's now a 4 versus 1. Release has had enough of this demolition and has decided to take matters into his own hands, and will pick up another one. Great round yet again, this time within the time regulation with bomb planted. Everything worked perfectly for the Overrated individuals that time, and they pull one back, 6-1 down.
Release is really doing a good job for them now. He's been headshotting people all over the place. Just like Pulse in the rounds before that.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because Pulse has gone 3 rounds now without a kill. He was 9-1, he's now 9-3. Release on the other hand has picked it up to 8-5 overall. And let's just check out MX. I thought was going to make a push, he's not. He's going to come back. It's Rattlesnake with Bomb, who is, as we look back towards radio actually, with Pulse right now. Does look like they may well be set for that push into ramp. They quite like the look of that. It's only being guarded by Pulse right now. And yet, as we've said already, he has had a hatful of kills down here, but not for a couple of rounds. He's had those early rounds where it was really good, and nothing since. Here comes the counter flash coming back over the top after the smoke was deployed, and that was a sort of a lost flash, really. Still a bit nervous. Flashes are going to come down in like Ramroom now. He's flashed back in, and the counter is much better this time round, and that's forced them back onto the back foot. And they are going to now make their way over towards the other side. It's actually Rattlesnake trying to come in through the tin hut. Picks up one PRB, picked up another one in there, so they're now 2 versus 2. And it's Powell and Pulse versus PRB and Webber. And bomb planted in the upper bomb site now. Pressure switching over. Pulse picks up the first kill. One in main is going to get picked up here surely by PRB. No, Pulse with a double. Locks down that upper bomb site. Bomb fuse will come in from Powell, and Infused leads 7-1. What do you know? Just when we thought Overrated were back in the game.
Yeah, that was actually pretty sad for them. They could have, if they won this round, they would have surely gained momentum again. Now this puts them in a tough spot, because if they don't win this round, they're going to be low on money.
Yeah, already a little low on money as well, but nevertheless have bought and do look okay amongst them actually. Yes, they do. They are okay. So no major worries in terms of cash. But as Hubner rightly said, they will have a problem next time round. Not being a good terrorist means you don't get good money. And you only get good money if you're planting bombs and killing CTs, and they're not doing that right now. Not enough of it.
Well, that is actually the only reason they still do have money, that they've been able to plant the bomb so many times, even though they've not won the rounds.
Yeah, 7-1 scoreline right now. These are best of ones, of course, as well, so no second chance here. For those of you not familiar, oh wow, pal. That's just absolutely spot on. Again, if you're MX, as he picks up a headshot on critical, that was nicely done. Pal, though, picks up an easy kill outside on MX, and nicely covered. That upper area becoming much more popular now that we've got that garage area outside, courtesy of our friend Volcano, of course, and nicely implemented by Valve. Good job, Valve, for listening to the community and taking over sales interpretation, let's call it. And AWP versus AWP is normally a battle that you'd see Rattlesnake do well in. Didn't manage to land the shot that time round. Pulse, meanwhile, is just waiting down low. We've got PRB, who's actually going to flick around. I think he might just decide to go back here. No time left, of course, so they're just going to try and connect these guns. Nothing doing. That was a 4 versus 3, and they didn't fancy it, Hubner. Right decision?
Yes, definitely. They would have had to go into an eco round had they tried it and not succeeded.
Yeah, so just check out that scoreboard right now. Pulse is 11-3. Power's actually having a fantastic game as well. 12-5 with that AWP. Release, the only man with positive KD on that T side. It's always tricky, but he's 9 for 6 as we head into round number 10. 15, of course, on each half. Right now, AWP being set up here by Powell, who has a whole load of them lined up ready to be killed. He's already got the first one on Rattlesnake. Oh, he's made that error. Do you know what? I do that all the time up there. I always fall off that top ledge. But then I'm an amateur, and Powell really isn't. So, didn't expect him to be doing that. He's down to 61 health. Doesn't matter, though. He's picked up PRB. That's 2 out of 2. And now MX has traded his rifle in for an AWP to see whether he can pick off Powell, but he's not even in sight. This is another round where they're just getting picked up. And look at that, Powell. 3 out of 3 finally gets finished off by MX for an AWP versus AWP battle. But he's done his job. 3 down, 2 to find, releasing MX on the last 2. And one man up high, Xeox picks him off. It's too easy right now for Infused, it really is. They do have the advantage of being on the easier of the two sides, of course, so they know they have to get every round. Pez is going to rush in here, and is just going to spray down release. It's 9-1.
Yes, it is, and overrated individuals are going to be in an eco round now. They have to, because they don't have any cash. The only thing they could do is get a couple of Galils, but they don't. They're going with the Glocks here.
5 rounds left then, and you'd fancy that Overrated will need to pick up a couple of rounds on this. The T side, they won't want to go in 14-1 down. That would be disastrous. It would mean that the pistol round becomes the absolute monumental deciding round of the entire thing. And you don't want that kind of pressure going in there. Not that they're not used to that kind of pressure, of course. And, oh, look at this, critical. Just waiting for MX to pop out, and then decides to just pick him up easily. Pulse has got himself 2, and a third one. Hat-trick boy on an eco, no problem at all. And that's 10-1. So now it's time for Overrated individuals to step up to the plate and win a couple of these last 4 rounds. At least 2 rounds.
Yeah, I expect them to either have a really good strategy in hand here now, or they'll try to split and pick again.
So we're on DE Nuke for the first game in the Raid Core EMS 1, Week 1 in spring. 2 former glorious clans trying to make their way through into the round of 16. This is the round of 32, and the winners will face Ninjas in Pyjamas. Just about the best team here on planet Earth right now. I think they'd probably be the best team on Mars or Jupiter or wherever you want to play some Counter-Strike Go. It wouldn't seem to matter to the dominant Swedes of 2012. Can they kick off 2013 the same way? We'll find out this evening, that's for sure. The start of it, anyway. Day 2, of course, straight tomorrow. We'll pick up the semi-finals and the final. Right now, 10-1 to Infused, leading Overrated individuals fairly straightforwardly, it must be said. And might get a hatful here from Pez. 1, 2, 3 in a row. Is the 4th coming in? No, it's going to be robbed away by Pulse. And that was all too easy for Pez and Infused. And it's now 11-1. And, well, overrated individuals, underrating performance right now.
They can buy again. They have one more chance to ace this round and gain momentum and just win the next rounds, or they'll probably just end up having to pistol round.
Just wondered there whether MX was AFK, but no, he's back and ready to play. And so Eco this time round. Is Zeox the man to pick up a few easy kills this time round, or is it Critical outside? They are starting to make their way outside here. MX is the first one, just 2 bullets from Critical. Thanks very much. Nice and easy frag. And Zeox now waits above 10 for any more likely candidates to feel the full wrath of his M4. Ooh, Critical heavily tagged down to 20 health, and Rattlesnake with that burst fire long range Glock might just pick up the frag. No, Powell in the back of the building at the far side of the map just strikes a pose with that EWP and picks up one. But Weber and PRB now, they've got to be careful, Infused. Don't want to get too carried away, because they've equalised this game up in this round. Round 13, unlucky for some. Looked like it was going to be just a straightforward eco bash for Infused. Is now turning out to be a bit more awkward. And they've managed to break into this ramp room here as well. Zeox is covering tin and lobby. PRB now and Weber are going to blast up to the top of the ladder. They don't know they're here, you know. And Infused might just get caught out. They do get caught out. Double from Weber. And that's ridiculously stupid from Infused up high. They must have known they were going to rotate through a ramp after they'd been called. And they haven't spotted it. They've been caught with their pants down in an upper bomb site. And it's a 3 versus 1 bomb planted. Pez is last man standing. And, well, he might as well just go for it. He's got plenty of cash. He's got time here. But unfortunately for him, Overrated are in exactly the right positions. One covering upper ladder, one covering main, one covering upper bomb site. They're just going to walk away, and Pez is going to try and pick off exit kills at the most here. And might just get one. That's cheeky. One on Weber. And that's all she wrote for round 13, which Overrated individuals pick up. And do you know what? Just how important might that one round prove to be?
Release just picked up an AWP, a free AWP for him. I think the issue there was for Infused that they actually went lowers with 2 people instead of guarding upper with 2, because if they'd stayed upper with 2, they could have defended it much better, which is the much harder site to actually defend, because you don't have as many spots to just hide in as CT.
Well, CT's aren't hiding this round. Pulse is already feeling the push might come his way. He's wrong though, it won't be, it'll be going upper. And Pez now has a chance here to pick up a lot of kills. He might fill his boots here. That's 2, couldn't get the 3rd though. Weber will shut him down from that ramp. And Weber now out into the bomb site, might get himself a double, does so. 2 versus 1, Rattlesnake finishes things off. And that's 2 rounds in a row for Overrated individuals. And they are mightily, mightily important rounds on Nuke. And 11-3 is now the score. Now, this looked like an absolute doozy for Infused. They were 11-1 up, cruising no problem. Made a couple of errors in judgment in that upper bomb site in the round 13. And have now lost a 2nd in a row. And do you know what? Momentum has swung the other way.
I think Overrated individuals are definitely going to win this round. You know why? Because they just want to. They want to win this last round so much.
Again, just using MX outside to see if they can get the pick. They haven't been that successful outside, actually. The majority of times they've been able to win their rounds have been either picking off Pulse in ramp and then rotating, or coming back to that upper bomb site. All 3 bomb sites that I remember working, actually 1 was lower, 2 were in the upper, and Pulse sitting on the boxes to the right hand side as we are about to move in with PRB. Are we? No. Just going to take a beat on that one. Zeox is going to wait above tin once more. That's been his favourite spot. Fairly straightforward, and wow, look at this, very aggressive from Critical. How the hell did he not win that fight? That was ridiculous. PRB though does pick up the win between those 2 heavyweights of Counter-Strike Go.
They're jumping down ramp now.
MX Just trying to make his way through. PRB's got himself another one, and MX then picks up another one. Look at this. Nice little play here from MX. 2 in a row. They had no idea he was coming through Tin Hut, and Weber will pick up the last one. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a match on our hands. Infused 11, Overrated Individuals 4. 3 very big rounds at the end of that half of now, and massively important. I don't want to overestimate the fact that this, you know, massive. If Infused to pick them up, it's pretty much game over.
Yes.
And those 3 rounds, a lot of people will be looking at, what's Red Eye talking about? It's 11-4, it's a slaughter. But for 12 rounds, yeah, you were absolutely right. But on Nuke, 11-4 is not too bad.
And if Overrated Individuals win the pistol round now, they do have a definite chance of taking the match.
Yeah, they do. And if Joe was here right now, he'd be rolling out his tape-recorded message, which says, "This pistol round is going to be huge." Because we often, how many times do you say it? I mean, every pistol round's important, but never more so than on a biased CT map, which is what Nuke is. And even with the changes in, it's still CT predominant, and 67% of all the games played on this map so far in CSGO before the change were made were all won on this map. It was the second biggest CT bias map, so behind Train, by the way, if you were interested. So here we go then. We're straight on with the game into the second half, and it's Infused who are going to try and push down that outer garage, while Zeox just waits patiently for the upper bomb site push with Powell. This is an interesting little split right now. Let's just have a look and see what we can see as we're going to go on the way with Pez, who gets the first kill. Weber replied back though. MX is now going to wait for this upper push and knows exactly where it's coming from as well. 2 in a row picked off by the P250. Powell comes in behind and picks off MX, so that's 2 for 1, and it's a 3 versus 2 now in favour of Overrated Individuals. Yeah, Release has already called it. He knows. And I thought Pell was going to shoot. Always an awkward moment when you both come down the vent side by side without any communication. Weber knows they're in vents. He knows that they're waiting for it. Oh, and catches Critical facing the wrong way. And it's now a 3 versus 1. Oh, this is going to be easy. And Rattlesnake does pick up that final kill. He's completely blind right now. Has no idea where that bomb was, but will finally get the defuse. So a straightforward win in the round for Overrated. And as we said in the end of that first half, those 3 rounds can be massive if you pick up the pistols. That's exactly what they've done.
Yes, I expect them to pick up SMGs now and shotguns perhaps, and just play a safe round. Just play it as safe as they can. We see a FAMAS coming out of most of them actually.
Spot on, and slightly different tactics here from Infused. They've got 2 pushing outside right now, which is critical. Pez, those long-range shots coming in from Pez. He's managed to make his way all through. He's going to get nailed from the top of that ladder, though, easily, because he's almost out of bullets as well. A point-blank range shot from Release. Weber's picked off 1 on Pulse as well. And Overrated just steamrolling through this eco. Eco bash complete. PRB downs 2, and not a single point of health was lost. 2-0.
Exactly, as I said, they played safe. They'll just play another save round now, because they think, or they expect, that Infused doesn't have anything. Most teams don't buy in this round if they lost the first 2. They did in this case, so they have to be very careful here.
Yep, they certainly do. And are they going to get caught out by that? They are going to get caught out by that. Rattlesnake is shut down outside, so that'll give them the entry they wanted. That'll give 2 men a chance to push into that higher bomb site. Completely flashed out his release behind the tall barrels, but they haven't spotted him just yet, and he might just pick up the first 2. He gets 2 in a row in that upper bomb site. Weber cleans house with the 3rd in a row, and that was actually a 2 versus 3 that Weber and Release won, thanks to Release being flashed out, and they didn't see him at the back of that bomb site. Expensive round.
Yes, very, very expensive. Now, that is actually the reason why most teams don't buy in the second round, or rather after the first 2 rounds in the 3rd round, because if you lose it after buying, if you've lost the first 2, you're gonna be down on money. They have to eco now, and that while Overrated Individuals have lots of money.
Do you know what? Pistols in this game do surprise me sometimes, just how powerful they are at long range. And Pez picks up the opening kill of the round. He's not going to get a second one. Actually, it was critical. Picked off. PRB gets the shot on Pez just to follow up. He's only got 10 points of health, but that's a good trade-off. 90 points of health for 2 kills. And the advantage is with Overrated Individuals now in a 4 versus 3. That's going to be a 4 versus 2. MX picking up 2 actually in that upper bomb site. But bomb is going to be planted for the cash here. And Release is going to know and have none of that whatsoever. Locked down in that lower bomb site. Bomb diffused. And they only lost Rattlesnake in that exchange. And that'll be 4-0 to Overrated Individual. 11-8 now overall in favour of Infused Gaming. Where are Infused coming back from this? How are they getting back into the game? You're mystified, Hoofner, aren't you?
No, I didn't.
They've mystified you. They've sprayed some sort of fairy gas on you, and you're just bemused now. You just can't understand how this team that lost 11 rounds in a row in the first half has suddenly come back to becoming this all-dominant force that won World Championships, and Rattlesnake nailing everyone with that AWP. Completely speechless.
I can tell you how they're not going to win this round.
I don't think we need to know, because they're already looking like they are going to lose this round. Release is going to get a third of the round. Still haven't lost a man yet, and Rattlesnake's got himself 2. They've got yet another cheeky plant by planting lower, and MX is going to lock that one down as well. So not another man lost whatsoever, and Infused making no inroads whatsoever. They definitely know where the bomb site is. There's no doubt about that. They don't need a sat-nav. They don't need a guidance system. They don't need any Google Maps. They definitely know where the bomb sites are, but they have no idea how to stay alive long enough.
That's actually the same thing that happened to Overrated Individuals when they were terrorists. They always got the bomb down, but they just weren't able to defend it.
Yep. That just shows you that you can get that bomb down, but it just seems like it's an individual thing right now. It's one man sort of going for a dive down vent and planting low, and it's not working. If they're going to do it, then they need some backup when they get there. But they're literally just doing it for the cash, and that's okay. That's working out. No panic just yet for Infused though. They've seen how they can do it. Now, they have managed to get 3 men out into the upper bomb site. Zeox is one of them who has got himself the opening frame, but why aren't they just going down low and getting that bomb fight? They did actually get the bomb fight, my mistake. And it's Pez and Powell and Pulse who've picked up a pair apiece. It's like a Peter Pepper picked a peck of Piker, and I can't even keep up with the amount of peas that are being put out by Infused. Right now, though, it's a 1 versus 2. Release is the last man alive with Pulse and Critical. Here comes Release. And are they going to split this bomb site? They are indeed. Double flash. And grenade unleashed by Release. Oh, he just thought the man was on the steps, but he wasn't. Critical positioning himself very nicely indeed. And that'll be Infused's first round on the board. And that came around about the same time as the Overrated Individuals in the first half. So they're pretty even right now.
And now the question is, are we going to see the same thing happening as in the previous team and when they were on the previous sides? Or are they actually going to win the round? Are T going to win this round? Because that's going to change how the game progresses from here.
Set smoke from PRB into the ramp lobby leading into radio room. And Weber's actually going to control that area right now. As we go back to PRB, who's got himself into vents a little bit earlier this time, just in case they decided they want to try to make that rush again. That's no problem for Zeox, just a bit of defensive smoke from the CTs. And now Critical is going to do the same thing with smoke into main. Zeox ready with another smoke here as a way of distraction. Flash is going to come in, and Flash now up in the higher area. Release picks up the first kill, couldn't get the second one. He was blind when he fired those shots off as well. Rattlesnake gets himself 1, MX replies, and well, action all over the map that we can't just keep up with right now. It's 4 versus 1, and the last man alive this time round will be Pez, who's made his way into main, and is easily picked off by Rattlesnake. So no repeat offence this time round for Infused TT Esports. It's Overrated Individuals that return us to normality. 6-1 in the half, and even by my cruddy maths, that makes it 12-10 overall to Infused.
Yes, it does.
Look at me. Look at me with my production skills and my mathematics. Joe would be proud of me.
And actually, we see the same happening as previously. They win the first round, T that is, and then they lose. And now the question is, are they gonna win this round? Which is mostly eco, actually.
Yep,
It's like-
absolutely eco. As expected, really, they had no cash after that last round. Rattlesnake opening things up. And they've just rolled through them now. Cheekily trying to drop down yet again, not having any of that whatsoever. And MX with that final kill around. Just bringing up to date on the... I was going to say on the scoreboard right now, but unfortunately my scoreboard wasn't down. There we go, that's better. MX 10 for 3 in this half, released 9 and 3. Rattlesnake having a much better game of it, as you'd expect when they switch over. 6 and 3. PRB bottom of the scoreboard, 7 and 2. On the other side of things, Critical having a reasonable game, 3 and 7. Pulse with 2 and 7. Zeox propping the scoreboard up right now. But it's not really frags that really count too much. Fantastic shot from Critical. Nailed Rattlesnake in the head from long range with the AK at the top of the ladder, which it's a shot you can make, absolutely it is. But against the quality of a player like Rattlesnake from that distance, that was really nice. Pulse has also given them an advantage. Zeox increases that advantage. Only Release has got himself a frag on the board here. And Zeox down to just 10 points out, but it's not going to make any difference. Critical's having an absolute monster round here. It's now a 4 versus 1. PRB last man standing. Going to get bomb. Is going to get planted in it. No, it doesn't matter because Pulse picks up the kill on PRB. And I'm lost in a shower of peas yet again. It's 7-2, and Infused have got a chance here. Remember, 11-4 from the first half. It's now 7-2, which means it's 13-11 overall to Infused. They need just 3 more rounds, haven't they?
They've been playing this very, very well, actually. Compared to Overrated individuals, who took 4 more rounds to actually get back into the game and gain momentum, they've already gained it now.
Actually just switched away from Rattlesnake, unfortunately, just as he picked up the opening kill of the round on Powell, and Pez will reply back. There is another man here to the left-hand side as Pulse goes in towards this bomb site, and it is Weber who does get picked off nicely. Headshot comes in with the AK from Pulse. He'll not get another one though, will he? Oh, actually it's Pez that gets picked off. Zeox right behind him though, should have done better, and MX gets himself a double. Rattlesnake now is on the hunt. Meanwhile, Release has got himself a frag on Critical, so we're just down to one man who has just 9 points of health, and he's going to have to go John Rambo on 3 members of Overrated. Might get himself one here if he is able to stay hidden, and he was. Brilliant little bit of piece of play from Pulse.
That was so sneaky.
It was sneaky. Perfectly sneaky. Not going to get away with it much longer though. Rattlesnake just waits patiently and picks up the AWP kill. And that'll make it 13-12 now. 1 round game. What do you know? Who would have thought, eh? We'd pick the first game of the night, and the very first Raid Call EMS 1, Cup 1, Day 1, Game 1, and it's a cracker.
I mean, after Infused was up 10 rounds, I think everyone expected them to go 15-3.
Really?
16-3.
Well, they'd have to do 16
Yeah.
to win.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, your maths is worse than Joe's.
Yeah, I know. I've never been good at math.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Nuke. So the problem is with Nuke, sometimes you get runs of rounds like that. It's just the way it is. You can lose this 15-0 and still come back and draw. It's that kind of round, that kind of map. As Pulse here is going to pick up an easy kill on Rattlesnake, who was confused slightly. His teammate won't be though, and Weber locks that one down. Trading blows backwards and forwards. It's a 3 versus 2. Weber and MX still alive here. They've evened things back up. Pez comes back to give them the advantage here. And it's a 2 versus 1 now. Weber with just 40 points of health. Zeox and Pez, the last 2 remaining, have identical health. And in the upper bomb site, will switch the pressure back over to the CT-sided Overrated individuals. Weber is the only man that stands between them, and they're moving to within 2 points of winning this game. Just laying down a bit of fire. Did clip Zeox, but not really by much. I think just 6 points of health. Smoke is deployed. Will we go for the drop down diffuse? No, we won't just yet. Weber will pick up the first kill. Now he's going to go for the drop diffuse. Just a few seconds. Pez is going to go in. He's going to get this, surely. He does get it. That's fantastic by Weber. An play by Weber. Even Rattlesnake laughs out loud. The little drop diffuse into the smoke. 5 seconds is just enough. And Pez, when you needed your spray, man, you didn't have it.
And he only had 16 HP left. He could have basically sprayed in there with anything and it would have killed him, but he just did not hit.
13-13, all tied up. And after a little piece of cheeky magic play by Mr. Weber, it's the overrated individuals who have the advantage now, and a scattering of weapons here for Infused. Not a full-out bite, a little bit of a mix. Reasonable weapons, mixture of AK and Galil. But the advantage has firmly swung in the favour of Rattlesnake's boys. 9-2 up in the half. 13-13 overall in this very first game in the raid called EMS1. Are we being spoiled, I wonder, or are we in for one of those magical nights of Counter-Strike? Pez and Rattlesnake exchange a frag apiece. 4 versus 4 now. And Rattlesnake might just fill his boots here. Oh, he couldn't. He got one, couldn't get the second. Zeox replies back, and MX and Pal, they're just exchanging frags back and forward right now. Now into that lower bomb site. Pulse just had to check his little run. He was going to go to the right-hand side, then felt that maybe he was being swamped by the left. He wasn't, though. They can make their way into this bomb site now if they want to, but they're going to have to be quick. PRB is making his way down low, and will have made that call now, and will be joined by MX. This is similar sides, nicely poised here at 13 all. Pulse making his way in, and will pick up the frag with just 4 points of health, and a 2 versus 1 now. Back to MX, gets a flash right in the face. It doesn't matter though, he did manage to get out there. Bomb gets planted, MX might just pick this second one up, does he? No, not quite. Now him, replied back by Pulse with just 4 points of health. And Infused retake the lead at 14-13.
That was so close. Had he hit him 1 millisecond earlier, the bomb wouldn't have gone down.
Extraordinary game.
And it was only 5 seconds left.
Gee whiz. 14-13, now in favour of Infused. And money not too bad for Overrated, so they're not going to have worry, but they might just have a worry next time round. There's a 4-man push on the outside here. Critical's going to pick up the kill on Rattlesnake, and that's going to open things up massively for them on that outside. We just switched away, sorry for that. Pulse did pick up the frag on Weber, and they've lost 2 men already here. Is this going to be a third? It is, and Critical now drops down release. MX replies back. He's the only man alive. He's been sneaking, got down there. Powers, though, going to pick up the bomb plant, and now MX now against 3 men. He's picked up the first. 4 men. And has picked up the first. Now it's a 3 versus 1. It's not going to last for long. Pez wins that battle. It's 9-4 on the half, and it's match point to Infused TTE Sports at 15-13. Hubner's speechless. He can't actually talk right now. And it's not because Carmack's banned him from it.
I've been speechless all throughout this game.
It's a crazy game, right? It's been a fantastic
really
game. 15-13 right now to Infused. Just that one final round. It's the hardest round to win as well. But they've played so positively. PRB though starts things off on the eco. Well, not on an eco, sorry. It's a kind of mixed buy because they've just got to buy this round. They can't afford to eco on this round. They've got to try and save something here. They're all damaged, you know. In fact, they're going to be dealt a massive blow by Pulse with a 3 in a row. Powell picks up 4. It's 1 man remaining here, all on release. And it's a 2 versus 1. He has the health advantage on 1 player.
Bomb has been planted.
Into the upper bomb side he'll go here. It isn't there. He knows it, and that'll just drop him down a little bit of health. Now, how crucial could that be? 9-4 in the half. 15-13 overall. This is round 1 of the raid called EMS1. You couldn't have picked a better game. Overrated individuals, 9-4 up and, on this half, but down overall by 15-13. Time running down now. Release really hasn't got time to mess around anymore and has got to go for it, but won't be able to. Locked down by Zeox, and that is game, set and matched to Infused TTE Sports. And Hubner, 16-13 overall, really doesn't tell the story of that game. It was fantastic.
Yes, definitely. I mean, the comeback from overrated individuals here was so amazing.
It was. It absolutely was. I don't actually I don't know that I expected that. I mean, when it started off and it was 5-1 and it was 6-1, you kind of got the sense that it mirrored the first half and Overrated with the stronger team in the second half, had the advantage on that CT side, but some really great rounds from Infused came out there, particularly with that mistake coming in. It looked like Weber had stolen the game, really, and tied things up at 13-13 with that sort of drop smoke diffuse. Pez, when he really needed a spraying weapon, should have just sprayed everywhere and would have got him down, but didn't, and that looked awkward for them, and suddenly that almost seemed to infuriate them.
Yeah.
And they came back and won the game.
That was definitely one of the biggest plays in this game, though.
Ah, jeez. Well, if we're that excited after the first game, what do you think the second game is going to be like? Because the second game is going to be Infused versus Ninjas in Pyjamas, and that's going to be coming out very shortly. So we're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the round of 16 for you. We're going all the way to the quarterfinals this evening. Stay tuned to the Raid Call EMS 1, only on ESL TV.